So, anyways, yeah. So how do we? Yeah, there's a lot of people that are with the information age. We are we have a lot more information at our disposal now, and people are starting to realize that there's a lot of lying and a lot of corruption, a lot of deceit, and a lot of just bad things happening when you get power corrupts absolutely, and that's just a reality. When you start getting into power, it's just like a disease. It's like an addiction, and you need more and more and more of it, and you're never satisfied. And just like anything external, right? Any addiction, any alcohol, drugs, sex, all the addictions you can think of, eating. Um, so power is the same way, but it's even stronger. It's a stronger force. It just perverts everything. Um, and so yeah, that's what happens at higher levels. And so anyway, um, so there's a lot of people. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists. There's a lot of alternative religions coming up, and just a lot of people awakening up, and a lot of anti-groups, anti-government, um, anarchist groups, a lot of conspiracy groups that are investigating a lot of the bad things that governments do and things like that. But okay, and that's all good to gain consciousness. But gaining consciousness of darkness is not going to bring any light, you know. It's good to know what darkness does, but not really. I mean, it's not really gonna do anything. Gaining consciousness of darkness doesn't do anything. Um, it leads you into more darkness because you start becoming resentful and hateful and and you're following darkness. You are becoming part of darkness, and darkness is good with that because you're remaining within darkness. And I've been there a lot of times, and it's like a drug too. It just consumes you. Um, wanting to expose the truth or this and that, and what is that? It's not gonna bring anything. It's not gonna do anything. Like exposing people to what they've done, or it doesn't it doesn't do anything. Our job is to bring light to darkness, and that's the big difference. Are you following the light, or are you following the darkness? Um, and so, what's the way out of the darkness? We live in a world where centralization of power is becoming more and more prominent, more and more monopolies, more and more corruption at higher levels. Um, and so how do we change this? How do we bring the kingdom of God to earth? How do we do that? And that's where that's what we have to focus on, is bringing the kingdom of God to earth, and how to do that. How is the question here? How do we do it? Um, how do we do it? And I think it's a simple process. It is like a process, and I think that process is stated within the new covenant. And I didn't even know this before when this was coming up. It just, when I was in the light and immersed in the light, asking questions in the light and delving within the light and investigating within the light. I think it's super important because a lot of people delve within darkness and go within darkness and investigate darkness and see all the plans of darkness, and that doesn't do you any good. We have to delve into the light, more and more into the light, and become more knowledgeable of the light and follow the ways of the light. And that's where the magic is. That's where life is. That's where the essence of life lies, in the light. And so within the new covenant, so how do we rid the world of all this nonsense that's going on? I mean, how do we do it? And in order to know how, you have to know what caused it. What is the cause of this? What is the cause of centralization of power? What is the cause? And once you know the cause, then you can get to a solution. And the cause is us. We as a people, as a species, have caused this to happen. We have created this. This world is a creation of ours. It's not a creation of a family or of a sect or of a some group or some Illuminati or something, and they might very well be involved in some type of conspiracy, who knows? But they're not the cause of this. They're just acting out what's already supposed to happen. They're not the cause. They're on the crest of a tidal wave or whatever. And the wave, the current, is something much greater than any family, any movement, any one person, any secret society could ever do. It's just, they're just on the cusp of a tidal wave. They're just acting out what's already there. So, and what is the cause? The cause is, like we've talked before, is our need for control on a micro level, is our need for more and more control of the external world. Looking outside for freedom and not inside. And so that's the cause. And how do we cure the cause? And how do we cure the world? Is going within and surrendering that need for control. Surrendering, which is basically the ego. The ego is always that, it's always that anxiety. It's always that needy of everything external. Needing this, needing that, needing this. And it creates that anxiety within you. And the letting go, as we've spoken before, the letting go, that surrendering the external control to God, surrendering that, just letting go. And it's in your consciousness. It's letting go of that ego. It's just giving it, surrendering. It's just surrendering to God. And God is the whole, is surrendering it to that. And in order to surrender, though, we need trust, we need faith, because you're jumping off a cliff. You're jumping off a cliff, you're surrendering, you're handing over all the keys. You're like, here, take my life, here it is. It's yours, it's not mine. And that's very hard to do, if we've never had security, if we've never had safety in our lives growing up, or just whatever. I mean, if we never had trust in anyone, or it's very hard to trust this entity or this God or, this thing, to trust the universe. It's very hard if we've never received what we needed in life. But I promise you that it's there. There is an entity that is an entity of unconditional love that's out there, that's waiting for us to follow it. And it's there. And it'll always be there for everyone at every moment. And once we surrender, so that's the first step. The how is surrender. To lay down your life, your beliefs. Lay down your life. Is that surrendering your life? And then you can move into blessing mode. Once you've surrendered and you've gained peace inside, and you feel that peace, and you feel that love within yourself, then you have to move into connection with others, and moving outside of yourself into the world, into others' consciousness, into the world. If you don't move out, because that's what happens a lot with gurus and is that they just remain within. They just remain internal and they never serve. But it's our need. We also have a need for connection. It's not just to remain peaceful inside, but we have a need to connect with others. And so the second step is blessing, is giving blessings to others, is giving goodwill to others in your conscience. And once you start doing that, and you start operating within the field of consciousness with other human beings in light, in getting rid of your negativity, and operating within the light, within the field of consciousness. So you're not even doing anything. You're still in just your field of consciousness, in your consciousness. You're giving blessings to everyone that you know. You're giving blessings to the world. You're giving blessings to, the city. You're giving blessings to your neighborhood. You're giving blessings to, you're coming out with and you're still in the state of surrender. And that's the second step. And faith is part of that second step. And faith has a lot to do with the future as well. And the third step is the faith. And 2 and 3 are mixed. The blessings, giving of unconditional love towards others. The faith is a lot about the future. The faith is that the kingdom is already here, and acting as if the kingdom is already here, and giving thanks to the Lord that the kingdom is coming. The giving thanks is one step, like giving thanks that the kingdom is coming and that the kingdom is here. It creates positivity, it creates, because it seems like the surrender is kind of like not joyful at first, because you're surrendering all of that things that gave you joy before. You're surrendering, eating. You're surrendering, all of your anxiety relief things, all of your addictions. You're surrendering all those things. You're surrendering the flesh. You're surrendering the external world. And that at first doesn't create joy, because you're like, damn, man, you took away all my good stuff. And that's kind of that's hard. That's the big, hardest step. And it never ends. You're just always doing it on a daily basis. And then so that doesn't seem like it's very good, but the faith after that, after the surrender, after the blessings, is the faith in the future. And not in the future, but in the present. Like we know the kingdom's already here on a spiritual level. Hey, Susa. And so anyway, so that's the how. The how is the surrender. The how is the giving of unconditional love, both in the field of consciousness and in reality. And the faith is how we're going to sustain that. The faith and the trust. And so that's how. That is how. So that's just a mini version of the new covenant that we can all apply to our lives. Religion's not bad. It's a tool. That doctrine is beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful things in Scripture of all beliefs, but institutionally, large institutions are married with each other. That's what happens at high levels of power. And so they can't be true beacons of truth when they're at high levels of power. So there's great things within doctrine and within religion, but we have to watch out with certain things and the direction that they take many times. So a blessing to you all, and we will see you at some further time.